YouTube, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by my channel again. Real quick, I just want to address Mike Brown being fired today as the Cleveland Cavalier head coach. As a LeBron James avid fan and following the Cavaliers as much as I have for 7 years, I just want to thank Mike Brown for everything he's done for the Cavaliers. Everybody knew he was going to get fired, but his time there was definitely not underappreciated. He did a great job in the regular season. He had some success in the playoffs. And let me talk a little bit about Mike Brown. He was hired in 2005, and the reason he was hired was Danny Ferry was the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they hired him to basically make the organization kind of like a San Antonio Spurs type of organization. What happened was Paul Silas was the Cleveland Cavalier coach for the first 2 years of LeBron James' tenure. Didn't make the playoffs. Mike Brown comes in first year, makes the playoffs in Mike Brown's first year. So great job on that. He's a great defensive coach. Like I said, he's a former assistant coach of the well tutelage of Greg Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs, where Mike Brown and Danny Ferry won a championship together. Like I said, he's a great defensive coach. Won 2008 Coach of the Year honors. Also, he's won a couple of seasons with over 60 wins in a season. Great job for Mike Brown with that. He won a couple of Central Division titles. Overall, he's a really nice guy. Great defensive coach. Pretty good with the players. Pretty good in the media. Nice guy. He did as much as I think he could have as far as on the defensive end. I'll get into it on the offense. A couple of things I didn't like. The little spitting in the cup thing. That kind of irked me. I don't know why he did it. A lot of people seem to think that was because of tobacco or something in his mouth. I don't think it was because of that. I've never seen him chew tobacco. I think it had to do with just him, I don't know, the way his mouth is shaped or something. I don't know. You guys tell me. If you guys know why he spit in cups, please tell me. I'm kind of glad I don't have to see that anymore. But in my opinion, Mike Brown was put in a tough situation. Not only was this his first job as an NBA coach, but he was asked to come in and basically win a championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers. As LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, guys like that, they look at coaches and they look at two things. They look to see if they were a player in the NBA, whether it was a role player, a good player, a great player. And the second thing they look at to see if they have any coaching experience at the head coaching position. And Mike Brown had neither one. He wasn't a former player, and he wasn't a former head coach. Like I said, he was an assistant coach for Greg Popovich. So to come in and to win a championship with the best player in the NBA, and him not having that background, that's a tough situation for him to be put in. So, I'm not saying a lot of people's criticism as far as Mike Brown goes is not fair, because it is fair. But at the same time, like I said, he doesn't have those kind of experiences. So this is definitely going to help him down the line with his coaching career. So another thing too with that is, to me, he couldn't yell at LeBron James. Because of the position he was in, first year coach. To me, it seemed like he was just happy to be there, to have a job. So if you're coaching the best player in the world, who's the most important player not only to his team and his organization, but the most important player in the NBA, Mike Brown just does not have the background to, tell LeBron James what to do. I mean, yeah, he can give him X and O's and be his coach and tell him when to come to practice and things like that. But when times are getting rough and things like that, like during Game 5 or in the Boston series, Phil Jackson or Pat Riley would have pulled him to the side and said, look, man, they would have yelled at him, screamed at him, something. Mike Brown didn't do that. So I think Mike Brown will definitely learn from that situation. Also, I think Mike Brown was put in a bad situation when it came to putting Shaquille O'Neal on the team. Not saying Shaquille O'Neal wasn't a good fit, but he slowed the Cleveland Cavaliers down, not only on defense, but on offense, throwing the ball into them and just pounding the ball down low. Also, when Shaq got hurt and had to come back into the playoffs, Mike Brown was forced to make a decision, either to keep Shaquille O'Neal in the lineup or to start J.J. Hickson or Varejao. Mike Brown doesn't have the pedigree, doesn't have the background to tell Shaq he's going to come off the bench. Even though he is the coach, he is the head coach, but Shaquille O'Neal is a future Hall of Famer. This guy's a 50 all greatest player all time. And Danny Ferry and Dan Gilbert put Shaquille O'Neal on the team to win a championship. So even though we all know as NBA fans and Cleveland Cavalier and LeBron James fans that we were better without Shaq, Mike Brown was kind of handcuffed because he had to put Shaq in the game or he probably would have got fired. So that was a tough situation for Mike Brown in my opinion. But a lot of people will say, oh, well, he's the coach, he should have did it. to me, the coach is the coach, but you still have a GM and a owner to look to. So, but with all that being said, he did a great job on defense, but on offense, I'm not going to sit here and kick a man while he's down, because he lost his job, so there's no reason to sit there and talk bad about him. But the offense had to be dealt with, and Mike Brown wasn't the guy to do that. Hopefully, in his next job, he will hire a offensive guru or get better on offense as far as his own coaching schemes, because the coaching as far as offensive schemes go, I don't believe he put LeBron James in the best position to maximize his skills. He didn't have him coming off the screens. He didn't have him working off the ball, and also he didn't have LeBron James in the post. So, and in my opinion, he was outcoached this year, last year, and the year before. You know, it was obvious that Antoine Jamison was a mismatch to Kevin Garnett. In my opinion, Jamison should have came off the bench, and Varejao should have started on Garnett. Mo Williams should have stayed on Rondo, even though Mo Williams had a great game in Game 1 against Rondo. Uh, Mo Williams shouldn't be on Ray Allen, and Anthony Parker should not be on Mo Williams. I mean, on Rondo. So in my opinion, either Mo Williams should have started the game or came off the bench for Delonte West. Anthony Parker should not have been on Rondo, and Mo Williams should not have been on Ray Allen. It was just a bad mismatch. Varejao, as far as most important players, he's the most second important player on the Cavaliers team, in my opinion, as far as points, plus points, how many points his team is up or down. He was second in the league, second or third in the league behind LeBron. When he's in the game, they win. And the bottom line in the playoffs, there's two things that win games: defense and rebound. And why is Varejao in the NBA? Defense and rebound. I'm not going to sit here and say he would have stopped Garnett, because he wouldn't have, but he definitely would have gave him a lot more resistance than Jamison. It's not Jamison's fault that he had a mismatch, but he had to do the best he could, and his matchup was Garnett. And Mike Brown did not put him in a good situation. In my opinion, as a coach, besides the obvious, winning games and things like that, what your job is to do is this: you have to maximize a player's strengths and have to minimize a player's weaknesses. And in my opinion, Mike Brown on the offensive end didn't do that. And also, like I said before, with the Mo Williams, Antoine Jamison matchup with Anthony Parker on Rondo and all those things, I just think that was just terrible. I mean, I think the average NBA fan could have saw that. So, look, like we said, Mike Brown, thanks for your time in Cleveland. Hopefully you will get another head coaching job. I don't know if you will or not, but you'll definitely have a job in the NBA either as an assistant coach or some kind of job. So, but as we know, coaches are hired to get fired. We knew this was coming. Also, if you guys didn't know this, Cleveland, the Cavalier organization, had a thing in Mike Brown's contract. Within the last 10 days of his contract, if he were to get fired within that last 10 days of the last day of the season, they only had to pay him half the money. So obviously he had to go. And plus, if you would have brought Mike Brown back, you had no shot of getting LeBron James, because basically what you're telling LeBron is, hey, we're going to do the same offense. We're going to win 60 games, and then we're going to lose in the playoffs. And that's not going to work. So, Mike Brown, you're just another victim. You got hired to get fired. You're still a great defensive coach. Just learn from your mistakes, Mike Brown, as far as your offense is concerned. And also, with Mike Brown's situation, he had to be fired as far as the Cleveland faithful is concerned. Cleveland Cavaliers organizations, fans. If you'd have brought Mike Brown back, even if LeBron James didn't come back, what are you telling the faithful in Cleveland? You had to let him go. So good luck to Mike Brown. Hopefully you'll get another job. Hopefully we can do something with LeBron. So we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. I had to do this quick video. Really, really appreciate it. And remember, guys, always treat people how you want to be treated, and everything will be alright. Stay clean, stay good, say your prayers, and be good. Thanks.